Hello and a warm welcome to this video when I cover stocks and derivatives in my channel. Now, this one is on HDFC Bank, India's largest private bank, and even in all segments, the largest in India. And we have news in it of the merger of with HDFC Limited, and the record date has been set of July 12th. Now, what lies ahead for the stock, both from a long term to a short term perspective? Let's have a look at that. So when we talk about HDFC Bank, it would be incorrect to just look at it in monthly. Let's start with the quarterly charts and see how it has done right from 2099 and progress. Now, the beauty of the whole thing has been that the stock has never ever violated the quarterly baseline. That is the Ichimoku Kijun line. You can see out here tested, took off, tested again. Even in the COVID correction, it never broke this. So that's the strength of one of the strongest uh, banks we have. Non-stop and steady riser, you can see out here, higher highs, always making higher highs, moving in a nice channel, pushing its way up very neatly. No major, what do you call, correction. Any major correction, yes, in the quarterly chart suggests that it goes and tests the baseline, like out here and out here. That's only been twice in a span of 23 years, once in 2008 subprime and once in the COVID crisis. So unless there is something which is a very huge crisis like situation, that also not related exclusively to the bank but overall damaging the economy or the global markets, that would cause some kind of a turmoil for a pullback in it uh, towards its baseline as and when that happens. Now let's have a look at the monthly chart and see what it is telling us. So monthly, fantastically poised. You can see out here from 2009, never breaks the crowd in the monthly. Never. It continuously goes and takes support of this monthly uh, level and bounces back sharply. So again, if there is something major calamity going to happen, then we can think of the monthly cloud level as and when it happens, like that. But out here I can already see a solid baseline monthly support in case there is some huge correction in HDFC Bank. Then 1200 would be a level where lots of value buying would come in. Between 1200 to 1300 would be that level of, calamity, doomsday, etc., as we want to put it. Now let's have a look at the weekly chart of HDFC Bank. Now here we can see sharp rise, sharp up move, then a quick decline from October 2021 till June. Sharp decline in the news. This was the merger news, April 2022. Market took it instantly in a positive manner and then dumped it back down. And from there, we had a nice steady up move, which has taken it to its all-time highs. We've clocked way above this high out here of 1685, and we've done now 1715 approx. So we've done that. Is it a top? Is it a triple top? There's about one high here, one high here, one high here. I right now don't want to call it a triple top or even a double top for that point of view. Let's have a look at how much more it can go up. Then we'll look at and we'll also consider if it can be a triple top based on what lies ahead for us in the data. So now let's have a look at the daily time frame. Now, before I go to the daily time frame, I did check the open interest of the futures today. That is June 21st, and in that, what I could see was that uh, there was a huge spike in the open interest from both a one day, that is today's point of view, as well as from a 5 day accumulation. There's a for a nifty stock, it's quite a bit of a spike. So a lot of fresh longs were added over the last 5 trading days in it. So that's another positive news. That's what was the reason probably of this large green candle that we saw in it today. Now in Ichimoku terms, it's inside a cloud, suggesting some more turmoil, volatility, with the future Kumo still bearish in the daily time frame. So could spend a little bit of time inside this zone before it tries to break on its upside. The resistance for it is at around 1670. Now, even the open interest of the option chain shows a lot of call covering today. Lots of call shorts are there in the system which got covered today. But the highest June series call OI is at 1670, which matches with the Ichimoku resistance. Also, at the same time, no point looking into the July series right now because of the merger date of July 12th, which might impact it. Now, let's have a look at the uh, hourly time frame and try to decode what's there in it. So, here we can see a kind of an inverse head and shoulder structure which took off from here and gave us a good break move. This move has resistance at 1650, 1670. Now, where is the support? In case there is a pullback of this inverse head and shoulder breakout, then the support comes in at 1610 to 1590. That's an extremely crucial level. If now let's talk first about if there is any downside, what would it be? First talk about the risk in a solid stock like HDFC Bank. So 1610 to 1590 is the very, very crucial support. A violation of that would be bad for the stock because then it would start slipping downwards towards first towards 1560, then 1475, which is another major support for it, for 1475, and then all the way down to where we spoke about the 1200 in case there is something very bad happening. Not the first and foremost from a trader's point of view or from a person who wants to buy with a very low risk, even in cash for a longer term, 1590, 1610 is good enough for the time being. We can look at the lower levels if it breaks that. Now, in the daily, we saw there was a long expanding horn out here. An expanding horn is a sideways corrective. Usually in a triangle, we see contraction happening, but this was an expansion. That's why called a horn. So if you've seen an HMV gramophone logo, it looks something like that, and that also is a time-wise correction. So after a time-wise correction, we had this spike out here, and now this pullback. So usually when a stock does a time wave correction, it does some consolidation. Pullbacks are not so deep, and rallies again resume in those stocks. Pullback is only up to the area of the triangle breakout. If that holds, then again we have a big move coming out of it. Now, out here, now let's talk about the upside above 1670. Above 1670, the stock has a potential to run to 1750 and then 1800, 1850. But that is a pre-merger target for a possible target for HDFC Bank. Post merger, the ratios will change, the structure will change. You'll have to accordingly adjust both supports and resistance for this stock going ahead. But overall, very well placed going by the futures and open option data. uh, for this settlement, maybe it will be a little bit volatile because inside the daily cloud, future Kumo yet to turn bullish with 1670 as a wall. Above that, it can see a very sharp move up, but only be careful below, I would say, 1590 for that stock. Then, yes, the correction could linger on for both in terms of price. Maybe it won't go that deep down in terms of price then, but it will become a time wise laggard, and it would cause a lot of what do you call calls to melt, and movements would be not that great. More of shifting downwards where value buying in the stock would come in. So there's no point right now to think of it as an ultra bearish way. More of a stock which is gave the opportunity in the last 5 days for longs to enter. Any pullback to 1610 would be another opportunity to attempt with a low risk or above 670 for a sharper move towards the upside levels, which I have in mind. Now, before I wind up this disclaimer, this is not a trading advice. It's an educational video based on Ichimoku purely. And for those who would like to trade on it or buy it or short it or whatever angle you are looking at it, please do your research. thoroughly before coming to a conclusion, and always keep in mind the risk involved in the any trade that you take. Until then, happy investing everyone. Bye bye.